Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. We finally got through our money Bandit King. That was it, the Bandit King game, and it's time for the finale. Devon and Hat Lady, Zeph and Bitchy Lady. Let's just get on with it, shall we? Best not to keep the god waiting. We got a game to play after all, and I'm pretty sure we need to win this one as Devon. Don't remind me. Look at the bright side, Laura. If you win this, you'll actually get a chance to have your greatest wish granted. Surely all this bloodshed and death is worth that, don't you think? No, absolutely not. So many needless deaths for what, a simple wish? I even lost my sister. What point is there in a wish that asks so much? You could always wish for your sister to come back. Heck, you could wish for all the dead to come back to life. But then why go through all this anyway? Well, for people like me, of course, who would happily leave all of you to rot in the grave for a few $1 trillion. You can't be serious. You're right. Why waste a wish on a few $1 trillion? I might as well wish for something else, like immortality or eternal youth. World domination, perhaps. Something grand like that would certainly be worth it, don't you think? Why the dour face? You don't really think I'm so kind-hearted that I'd waste an opportunity like this just to bring back some rotting corpses. Or maybe I would. Hard to know what I'd really wish for. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's just go inside and see what we have to play. Oh, someone's excited to get to the carnage. Well, guess that's what I'd expect from the person who killed their best friend. I bit my tongue trying to keep myself from lashing out, but it was hard not to feel a welling fury in my heart from her words. I just had to ignore it. She's just trying to get in your head. In the game, that's where I'd show her. We entered into the waiting room and looked at the television, waiting for Belle to pop up and tell us what game we'd play. Except that she didn't appear. Hey Belle, what's the hold-up? You sick or something? The hell's going on? Belle usually ain't late. Guess she's slacking in her old age or something. What was that? You dare suggest that I'd be burdened with the passing of time? There we go. Just had to coax her a bit. The television screen flared up and a rather irritated looking Belle popped up on the screen once more. Was there a reason for the delay? Don't tell me. Was it stomach troubles? You should be careful what you eat, Belle. I wouldn't want you to spend hours on your precious throne. So uncouth to suggest I'd be preoccupied with such things. If you must know, I was struck with a sudden bout of inspiration. I had something else in mind for you initially, but, well, can't pass up an opportunity to spice things up, but now can I? With all due respect, I think I would prefer what you had planned initially. Anything that inspired you couldn't possibly be good. What? Oh, come on, it'll be fun. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You'll do what I say anyway, so you should go into this with a positive attitude. Alright, fine, what are you going to make us play? That's the spirit I like to see, Devon. That's why I like you, so willing to give things a go. My, how you've grown since that first game. Oh, I think I'm going to cry. Look at my little girl all grown up. I'm not your little girl. Just tell us what game we're playing. Guess she's getting into that rebellious phase. Anyway, the game we're going to be playing is If the Mind is Willing. Isn't the saying, the mind is willing but the flesh is weak? Actually, it's the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. You're also well read. Great. Then I'm sure you'll understand the game fully. Here's how the rules work. I'm going to give you each orders and you have to follow those orders. Anyone who chooses to ignore or refuse an order will die. Last one standing wins. Pretty simple, right? So your brilliant inspiration was to order us around until we got fed up with it, so we'd rather choose death? Well, there's more to it than that, dear Teresa, but you get the gist of it. Even with Everett gone, I'm still just following orders. What a goddamn pain in the ass. Is that really it? We're just trying to outlast one another and follow your orders? Yep, that's it. It's such a simple game that a rat could do it. Just so we're clear though, I won't kill you if you fail an order. You just have to keep at it until you succeed, or I give you something new. And if things are too hard for you, I promise that your death will be quick and painless. It'll be like a blink, and then you'll be gone. Consider it a gift from your merciful host. That's kind of scary. Is it? Would you prefer a slow, agonizing death where you lament every second of torturous pain racking your body? No. I didn't think so. Well, are there any questions before we move on to the game room? Yes, I'd like to know how realistic your orders are going to be. Do you think I'm going to ask you to sprout wings and fly through the air like a hawk? That'd be fun, but I assure you I'll only ask what is physically possible. So you might order us to kill one another, for example. Oh, certainly, I could order all sorts of evil and nasty things for you to do, but all orders will be possible. You know the saying, where there's a will, there's a way. How much time do we have to start acting upon your orders before you consider it ignoring it? I'll be reasonable. I'll warn you if you're taking too much time to get it started. After that, if I suspect you're trying to disobey me, then it'll be lights out. Or more apt, life's out. I see. Are we able to get in each other's way? You know, screw over someone else so they don't do your orders or whatever. Well, if you're able to do your own order at the same time, I don't see why not. Play fair, play dirty, just follow my orders and all will be fine. Gotcha. Anything else? Not any other questions. So Belle simply smiled and nodded her head at us. Excellent, excellent. Then please exit into the game room from either door, and I'll see you soon. The television turned off and we all looked at one another. Think that counts as an order? It'd be funny if it was, but it probably wasn't. Though we're going to have to play it one way or another. Indeed. Well, let's have some fun with this. Hopefully Bella's creative with whatever order she comes up with. Lilith, give me strength to see this through. We all exited the waiting room and entered into the game room. But of course, it wasn't what any of us were expecting. The desert again? This was not what I was expecting, to be honest. Are you for real? I ain't in the best clothes to be marching through some sandy desert. I'm starting to think that Bella's running out of ideas. Oh, is that what you think? You think I'm all out of good ideas, huh? Why are you acting so surprised? I'm here to give you orders, and what better place to do that than right here, huh? You didn't think I'd take this opportunity to sit back and watch you from afar, did you? And say you've operated before. New game, new me. So let's get down to it, shall we? Belle suddenly manifested a blue whistle that hung off her neck. She didn't waste any time bringing it to her lips and inhaling deeply. With the sharp whistle shrilling in the air, we winced as Belle pointed to Laura. Laura, you've still got your sister's hat on, don't you? Yes, I do. Good. I order you to burn it. What? You heard me. I order you to burn your sister's hat. Look, here's the torch to do the deed. Belle held out her hand and a blazing red torch puffed into her hand. But this is all I have left of her. Oh, is that defiance? Are you really going to disobey my first order? I suppose if you're so eager to die, I can oblige. No, it's just... Then take this torch and burn that hat. Damn it, damn it. Laura reluctantly grabbed the torch and hesitantly held her sister's hat toward the flame until it ignited, and the fire began to slowly eat away at the memento. Getting personal real quick, aren't you, Belle? Well, Laura did seem to think that I was running out of ideas, so I figured this would remind her that I'm a very creative individual. Don't worry, though, I promise not to leave any of you out of the fun either. Oh, Belle, please, you don't have to include me. I'll be happy to watch. Don't get smart with me. Drop and give me 20. Push-ups? That's right, get to it. And just like that, Teresa dropped down and began to do push-ups in the hot desert sand. Felt as though Belle was relishing in her power over us, even though she had more than enough before. This might be fun after all. I agree. Speaking of, Zeph, I order you to tie your shoes together. Keep them tied too. Really? Did I stutter? No. Ugh. I watched as Zeph crouched down and began to tie the laces of his shoes together. Meanwhile, I looked anxiously at Belle, who seemed to be deep in thought on what she was preparing to give me. Don't worry, Devon, I didn't forget about you. Ugh. I order you to say the alphabet backwards. Really? That's what she gets? Ugh, compared to the rest of us, that's easy. Z, Y, X, W... Actually, it might not be as easy as I thought. Yes, keep that up, Devon. Took me a few tries to get through the whole alphabet backwards, but after a few failed attempts, I managed to get it done. Though we all managed our first orders. Laura was staring at a pile of ashes getting swept up in the sand. Teresa was massaging out her arms after doing her push-ups, and Zeph was trying to walk properly. Excellent. Well, that was a nice warm-up, don't you think? Let's get to the real game now. That was a warm-up? You had me burn my sister's hat, and that was a warm-up? Yep. Now your first order will be to carry those backpacks across the desert to the building way over there. Belle pointed in the distance to where some kind of building stood out in the landscape across the sand. Backpacks? What backpacks are we talking about? These backpacks. Belle pointed behind us, and suddenly there was a table that had 4 backpacks laid out on top of them. Each of you gets 1 backpack, so get to it. We each walked over toward the table and picked up the backpacks, but I could barely lift it off the table. Oh, these are really heavy. What'd you put in these, rocks? Teresa unzipped the backpack and began to dig inside it. There are rocks in here. You having us carry rocks across the desert? That's right. Also, keep the rocks in there. I don't want them getting eroded by the harsh desert sand. I've got to do this while my shoes are tied together? You can take your shoes off if it becomes a nuisance. I'm certainly not going to be trudging through the desert with these heels on. Oh, good idea. Not a good idea, because I'm ordering both you and Laura to keep your shoes on while you carry the backpacks. Oh, for the love of... But you can't really expect me to walk properly like this. Well, you'll learn to walk in them. I looked over to see Teresa quietly slipping out of her heels and sliding them off to the side. Seems that Belle didn't mind if she kicked them away for now. Anyway, you got your order, so get to it. We all groaned as we lifted the backpacks onto our backs and began the arduous walk through the desert. The blazing heat, the sandy road, and of course the heavy rocks were carried, made each step a battle. At first, we tried to stay together, but it was obvious that with Zeph's shoes tied and Laura having to somehow march through the sand in heels, they would fall behind. It was easier for Teresa and me to walk ahead than try to keep pace with the others. Of course, this came with its own set of problems. So Devon, how you holding up? Fine, super. Peachy even. I mean, it could be worse. I feel like I'll jinx myself if I actually finish that sentence. What's to worry about? Belle's giving Laura and Zeph a hard time for being slackers. You forget that she's a god and that she can probably, hear everything that we say no matter where we are. I suppose you're right, but, does it really matter? As long as we keep moving along, keep doing as she says, we'll be in good shape, won't we? Especially since we have such a good head start. So like this is a race. I bet as soon as we get to that building, Belle's going to have something else for us to do. Oh, surely, but maybe we'll get a break. A break before she gets to us, so to speak. Though, if you were to ask me, I guess that either Zeph or Laura will probably be one of the first to tap out. Oh, come on, indulge me a little, won't you? It'll make ignoring the heavy-ass rocks easier. It's actually making me want to focus on the rocks more. Well, if that's what you think. But I can't imagine that those two will make it the whole length through. They'll get tired, thirsty, worn down. I'll even bet that Laura will probably sprain her ankle or something. Imagine that, trying to walk through the desert in heels with a sprained ankle. Why, it'd be agonizing. And Zeph, well, I'm willing to bet he'll trip a few times, get a face full of sand, and then have to lift himself up while carrying all those rocks. Then heat exhaustion will set in, he'll get cramps, and soon he'll be dragging himself across the sand like a slug. That'd be a sight to see. I wonder which of the two will hobble their way to the finish line first. Assuming they don't beg for the merciful kiss of death. Are you just sadistic or something? It's one thing to want to win, it's another to imagine how everyone else is going to suffer and struggle. Maybe I am a bit on the sadistic side, just can't help getting a bit of glee seeing people fail. It's like a thrill, or maybe it just makes me feel good to know other people are having a hard time. Yeah, it sounds like the mindset of a sadistic person, alright. Don't kid yourself though, you'd probably be happy to know they all gave up too, right? Make your life so much easier. Plus, I can promise you this, Devon. I don't intend to win this game. Really? Nope, I'm just here for the ride to see how far you all go. When I'm satisfied, I'll tap out. It'd be bad for me to win at this stage of the game. Then why are you here? A lady doesn't give up her secrets for free, you know. But I can tell you this much. I'm here to protect someone. You? Protect someone? Why are you so surprised? Just because I may be sadistic doesn't mean that I don't care for people. Who are you trying to protect? That information is classified. Just in the wild case that you somehow want to go and target this person. You know. But don't you worry your pretty little head about it. All you have to do is know that I'm the good guy of this story, despite what you may think. I still find that hard to believe. Oh well, can't convince everybody. Though it looks like our fortune is changing for the better. Look up there. Teresa pointed toward a clearing in the desert where some trees had popped up. Looked familiar enough. An oasis, just like in the hiking game. So you're familiar with it, that's good. Any traps or such in it? No, I think it was just a normal oasis. Well, it's on the path. Why not head over there? I guess there's no harm. We walked toward the oasis and breathed a sigh of relief, feeling the cool air on our skin. I wanted to toss off the backpack and just jump in the pool of water, but I was sure that Belle would have my head on a pike if I did. So instead I leaned over toward the edge of the pool and cupped some water in my hands. I was parched, even a few sips of water would be enough to keep me going to our destination. And so I brought my hands up to my lips and just what do you think you're doing? Getting a drink of water? Are you shirking your original order, Devon? No, I mean the oasis is clearly on the path. I just stopped to get a quick drink. I don't know if I like this distraction. Then why'd you put it here? I think it looks nice. What's a desert without an oasis? But that's beside the point. I ordered you to not drink from this oasis. Of course you had to come in right before I could get a sip. Teresa didn't wait for Belle's order to quickly slurp down a few handfuls of water. Hey, don't think you're free from that order either, missy. No oasis water for you either. Teresa wiped her mouth and grinned as she flicked her hands of any droplets. That's fine, I got what I wanted out of it. She dipped her hands back in the water and splashed some water over her face. Well, if that's all, Belle, I think I'll be off. Coming, Devon? I may not have been able to drink any of the water, but I could at least use it to cool myself off. So I followed Teresa's lead and splashed some water over my face. I'm coming. Keep at it, you two. You're almost at your checkpoint. I gotta make sure the two slackers are making their way through. Toodles. Just like that, she was gone again. Damn it, couldn't even get a single drink. Well, that is what it is. She said we're almost there, so let's just keep going. It'd be so sad if you just failed because you couldn't get a bit of water. Shut up, I'm not going to quit just because I didn't get any water. That's good, that's good. Then should we go? Yeah. We continued walking through that desert, marching to the building that seemed so close. And we walked, and walked, and walked. How much further do we have to go? That building, it seems so close, and yet no matter how much we walk, it never seems to get any closer. My legs are getting sore. My feet are starting to ache. My throat is dry. My body's burning. Even Teresa was too exhausted to make any snarky comments and was just taking step after step. Like she were a zombie. Then again, so was I. The only thing that seemed to indicate either of us had life was the haggard breaths we each wheezed with every step. After one misplaced step, my calf cramped up, and I tumbled to the ground onto the sand. Fucking hell, this hurts. Yep, that's heat exhaustion setting in, alright. Or just exhaustion, I guess. Shit, how the hell do I make it stop? You can usually massage the muscle and that'll alleviate the pain. I tried to reach for my calf with my hand, but just as I pressed my finger against the tense muscle, the rest of my leg cramped up. Fuck, my whole leg! Ouch, if your whole leg's hurting, then it might be worse off than I thought. Can you stop standing around and help me out then? I suppose I could. But what good is that going to do? You've got to overcome this trial yourself, don't you? It's not like I'll always be there to massage out every kink and cramp that comes your way. I mean, really to be done by a cramp. You're all sad too. I wanted to curse her out, but the pain in my leg kept me focused. Just massage out the cramp, knead the muscle. I started with the thigh and then slowly worked my way down the calf, over and over until the muscles began to relax and the pain subsided. Okay. I think it's calmed down. Let me just get back up and we can... Teresa kicked me right in the calf as I was standing up and my legs seized up again. I collapsed onto the ground again while Teresa held her stomach and laughed. What the fuck, Teresa? Oh, I'm sorry, I just couldn't help myself. You worked so hard to make the pain go away. Oh, now you can do it again. You sick sadistic bitch. Not very creative with the insults, are you? Anyway, good luck dealing with that. I'm off to go ahead. You're going to go off ahead. You're going to pay for this, you hear me? No doubt about it. Well, good luck with that leg. I'll make you pay for this, Teresa. Damn it, Oh, it hurts so damn much. No, just stay calm, Devon. It's just a muscle cramp. Just massage it out like you did last time. No need to panic. This isn't something you can't overcome. Just massage out the pain. Alright. That ought to do it. Sheesh. I carefully stood back up onto my feet, but even stepping seemed to irritate my muscles. If I wasn't careful with my walking, I'd end up with cramped legs again. I just have to keep going. Don't give in. Don't ever give in. And so I marched. Slower for sure, but I kept going. Nothing was going to stop me. Not the sun, not the sand, not the pain in my legs. I would march and march and march until my body gave out. I was just surprised by how fast that happened. Eventually the burning pain in my feet and legs kept me from walking. But when my legs failed, I crawled. When my arms failed, I inched my way forward. I just needed to keep going. I just needed to make it. It'd be easy to quit. It'd be so easy to quit. Every part of my body was screaming for me to quit. No, I can't quit. I can't. I've come so far, I couldn't finish my sentence. Even my dry and raw throat was begging for some kind of relief. And yet I couldn't find any. The building ahead seemed to elude me. Like a mirage. Is it even there? Is this some kind of test? An endless walk to some god-forsaken monument in the sand? I had to believe it was there. That I made it this far for a reason. I just had to keep... I couldn't move. All the strength in every muscle was spent. I couldn't move my legs, my arms. I could barely find the strength to keep breathing. Devon? Devon 11. Why, you look absolutely dreadful. Like a corpse that gave up dying halfway. Can't even say hello to me when I've come to grace you with shade. How sad. How pitifully sad. At this rate, you'll never be able to complete your order. Belle sat down beside me, rolling me onto my back so I could see her face clearly. You know you could always give up. It would be so easy. Don't you want it, Devon, to give up? To let the merciful embrace of death take away all that pain, all those burdens? She carefully lifted my head and placed it on her lap. You've been through so much. Don't you think you deserve a break? Her fingers traced across my arm and up my shoulders until she cupped my face in her hands. All you have to do is give up. Surrender yourself and sleep. It will all end. Isn't that such a tender mercy? Go on, you have enough strength left to give an answer. My body and mind were giving two different answers, but eventually one won over the other. We can choose. Interesting. We'll keep going. I should keep going. I know that I'll lose if I give up, so I just have to keep at it no matter how much pain I'm in. I won't lose if I don't give in. Even if it hurts, even if it feels impossible, I can do this. If things ever get too painful, I'll be there for you. Press on, I know you can do it. Devon? You seem to be lost in thought. Mind finishing up your sentence? I'll keep going. Alright then, that's what I want to hear. She dropped my head from her lap and dusted her hands before standing up. You know the drill. Keep on moving. Belle stood up and walked off, leaving my exhausted body alone once more in the sun. Well, I guess there's nothing to it but to press on. I just had to finish. I had to find the strength to stand up and... Vin? Devon? Laura? Well, what do you know? She's not dead. Could have had me fooled. What? Where am I? You don't know? No, I kind of passed out in the desert. Really now, because we found you flopped here on the floor when we got here. Must have somehow crawled your way over here without even knowing it. I looked around to get an idea as to where I was exactly. It appeared to be some kind of gymnasium. I tried to sit up and get a better look, but my body ached and the shockwave of pain made me collapse back onto the ground. Take it slow, Devon. I don't know how far you push yourself, but you don't look to be in good shape. You don't have to tell me twice. Was Teresa here? Can't say that I've seen her around. I figured she was with you. Or did you pass her up? No, she pretty much left me for dead earlier. She basically kicked me in the leg after I collapsed from exhaustion. How could she do something like that? Oh, you know, with precision and grace. I looked over to see Teresa proudly entering into the gym from the outside with a wide grin plastered across her face. Ta-da! Here I am, everyone. Did she just collapse? I think so. Should we check up on her? Yeah, but let's just relish this moment for a while. I want to be able to replay it in my mind later. After a few seconds, Laura limped over toward Teresa's unconscious body and checked up on her. Is Laura okay? She hurt her foot while we were walking out in the desert. She basically had to hobble and hop the entire way here. But I'll tell you, I don't think that she'd have the perseverance to go through all that. I thought she'd give up, that she'd just fall down holding onto her foot and curse Belle out as she gave up. But she just kept going. In a weird way, it was kind of inspiring. Never thought I'd hear the great Zeph Sphere being inspired by a florist. Well, there's no shame in it. You never know where you're going to find inspiration. I looked back to Laura, who was inspecting Teresa closely. Well, she seems to be relatively okay. She might have just collapsed from exhaustion, which seems to be a running theme here. Indeed it does. I'm so proud of you all for pushing through the pain. Belle appeared behind Laura, putting both her hands on her shoulders. It was enough to get Laura to jump, which was impressive considering she was hopping on one foot. Why do you have to keep doing that? Because it's fun. You're a fun person to startle. Anyway, good to see that you're all here so we can continue the game. Are you all rested and recuperated? No, I feel like my body's going to explode. That's good, you should be hurting right now. But you did just haul a bunch of rocks across the desert. Well, some of you did. Some of you had to be hauled off yourself since you wouldn't quit. Is that what happened? Who knows? But all that matters is that you're here now. Teresa hasn't woken up yet. Should we give her a few more minutes? What? No, we don't have time for that. Just use this. Belle snapped her fingers and held out a bucket of water. You want me to splash it with water? No, you've done enough for now, Laura. Zeph, I order you to do it. Alright. Zeph picked up the bucket and waited for Laura to move off before dumping the water on Teresa's face. What the... It seemed to be enough to get her to wake up, but though she looked just as angry as she did surprised. Did you just dump water on my face? Zeph didn't answer and instead splashed more water onto her. Belle's orders, I dare not disobey. Stop, I'm already awake, quit splashing me. You couldn't let me get my beauty rest for 1 second? Oh, Teresa dear, you don't need any beauty rest. You're beautiful enough as is. But anyway, now that you're all awake, and you've delivered all the rocks, let's get on to the next part of the game. Belle clapped her hands and all of our backpacks opened, the stones floating off and embedding themselves into one of the walls. Who here likes rock climbing? We're gonna do rock climbing next? Maybe. Are you volunteering to go ahead and try? This feels like a trap. But then again, it's not like I can exactly defy Belle. Maybe I should go along with it just to save myself the misery. Or maybe she'll pick someone else. Perhaps it's best to... We might as well volunteer, right? Get it over with. Volunteer. I sighed and weakly raised my hand up. Perhaps it's best I just get this out of the way now. Devon, that's what I'm talking about. Ever so bold and ready to do what's needed for the group. Oh, you know me, Belle. I just can't wait to make you proud. And you're doing a darling job at it. I shall reward your enthusiasm with an order. Devon, I order you to climb up to the top of this rock wall. Oh, Laura, you too. You can use the rock wall on the other side. I weakly walked toward the rock wall and looked up to see how far it went up. Honestly, it didn't seem too high, but considering how exhausted my body was, it would end up being much worse. Still, there was only one thing left to do. I held one of the stones and tried to get a good grip onto the wall. I was afraid that I'd simply fall on my ass considering how exhausted I was, but somehow I was able to lift myself up onto the wall. Slowly, I climbed my way up, stone by stone, even as my muscles burned for me to rest. I was afraid that I would cramp up again, that I'd just end up falling on the hard floor, but what choice did I have? It was this or death. At least I was faring better than Laura, who looked as though she was trying to hop from stone to stone since she could only use one foot. I felt as though I was watching a squirrel climb up a tree, leaping up to grab one stone right after another. Zeph was right, it was somehow inspiring to see Laura giving it her all. And if she could do it, then I could too. Alright, now that those two have a good start, Teresa, I order you to keep Devon from reaching the top. Zeph, I order you to keep Laura from reaching the top. Oh, interesting. Anything is fair game? Yep, you just got to show that you're making an effort. Gotcha. Alright, that's what I gotta do. Hear that, Devon? You're about to get some company. Great, just what I needed to hear. Things went hard enough with the muscle fatigue. That just meant I'd had to hustle a little bit faster. I kept climbing, not bothering to look down to see how fast Teresa was chasing after me. If I could just get to the top, then it wouldn't matter. You know, Devon, if you stop climbing so high, it wouldn't hurt as much when you fall down. If you go any higher, well, you might end up with a fractured skull when you hit the floor. You should listen to your own advice. I'm sure getting blood out of your hair would be a pain. Ugh, I've got practice doing it. I doubt you do though. Oh well, what better place to start than here, right? She sounded like she was getting closer. Let's stomp on her head when she gets close. My fear got the better of me and I looked down to see that she was following up the same path I'd taken to get up. And at that speed she was going to catch me before I could reach the top. Haven't you ever heard the saying, don't look down, Devon? You should probably listen to it for once. No, I guess you can't help but stare into the face of your executioner. Damn it, she was going to catch up to me if I didn't hustle. Of course, she's pretty high up too. If I could knock her down, I'd probably be able to finish up without any fear of her catching up to me. I think we should stomp on her head. Knock her down. If Teresa wants a fight, I'll give her one. I looked down to see her quickly climbing up the wall. It wouldn't be long until she caught up with me, and when that happened, she'd be sure to make herself an annoyance. And she'll regret trying to get in my way. You're slowing down there, Devon. Shouldn't you focus on trying to reach the top? I'm going to reach the top one way or another. If you get in my way, though, you're the one who's going to be hitting the floor. Wow, I didn't expect such tough talk from you. Are you sure you should be wasting your breath on me, though? Why don't you come up here and find out? An invitation? Well, how could I possibly say no to that? Teresa continued climbing, keeping a malicious grin on her face as she got ever closer. Of course, I was busy trying to line up the best way to kick her once she got close. It was the best place to aim, for her hands, her head, somewhere else, the top of her head, obviously. I didn't get a lot of time to think it through as she was already closing the gap between us. Best to just hit her wherever I could, especially since she's probably just as tired as I am. After she put her hands into one of the climbing holds, I brought my leg up in an attempt to kick it. She moved her hand just out of the way and hopped up closer toward me. Goodness, Devon, you could have crushed my fingers. Watch where you're stomping your feet. Damn it, I can't afford to miss like that again. This time I'll just aim for her head. A swift blow will send her down quickly. I adjusted my aim and again this time and swung my leg toward her head. This time I felt it connect properly. You annoying little... I didn't give her a chance to recover and was already reeling my leg back to kick her again. Eventually she'd fall down, or back the fuck off. Another swift kick in. So predictable. She avoided my kick just barely and grabbed a hold of my leg with one hand. Let go! I wouldn't let you climb up after all the kicking you did to me? Come on. Let me have a little bit of payback first. You started by kicking me in the leg. I deserve payback out of the two of us. I guess that's true. Oh well. When have I ever played fair? She pulled at my leg, sending me off balance as I held on to the climbing hold. Hold on tight, Devon. You wouldn't want to fall after coming so far now, would you? If you let go of me, then it wouldn't... In the middle of my answer, Teresa found a room to raise her leg and kick me in the shin. I felt my leg on the verge of cramping up again. How the fuck is she so flexible? Is she a fucking ninja or something? Stop, stop! Oh, what's wrong? Does it hurt when I hit it there? Ow, please, please, I'll give up. Oh, was that no good? Maybe I should aim lower then. Another kick. This time it was just above the calf. If she'd actually hit it, then it would have seized up. I can't. Please, Teresa. Oh, I had enough. Clearly, you can keep going. Your hands are still clinging on for dear life. Now go on, beg for mercy. Maybe I'll have something in store for you. Damn it. Damn it, she got me right where she wants me. I can't fight back. I'm losing strength, and if I fall from here, there's no way I'll survive. What the hell do I do? There it is. That panic, that fear, that desperation. Trying to think of a way out, aren't you? Your mind pacing as fast as it can to find some solution. Go on, try something, Devon. I want to see what your last hope looks like. And I want to see that life-sucking despair reach across your face when it fails. Damn it, of all the people to lose to, why her? Isn't there something I can do? Isn't there some way I can turn this around? Of course there is. There's always something you can do. You only lose when you give up. Then what the hell am I supposed to do? I'm seconds away from collapsing from exhaustion. And at this height, why don't you just fight back? Right, fight back while she's got a hold of my leg. Great idea, me. Maybe I'll sprout wings and suplex her into the ground while I'm at it. I have such great ideas. Wait, is this even me? You just gotta get a little bold. Or get very bold. Sometimes you gotta make a leap of faith. A leap of... Are you serious? That's the best idea you could come up with? Hello, my life is on the line here, damn it. Fucking hell. Why doesn't my brain stop working at times like... Well, whatever. Guess I just have to make a leap of faith or whatever then. Oh, that glint in your eye. You've got something planned. It's not really a plan. Honestly, I'm not sure what the hell I'm thinking about, but if it works, it works. I pushed off the wall with one foot toward Teresa. What? Frankly, I didn't know what I was doing either. But this seemed like the only choice I had left, and barreling toward Teresa seemed about as good as any other idea I could come up with. While she was shocked, I raised my fist in the air and nailed her in the face as I started to descend. The blow seemed strong enough, or maybe surprising enough, to loosen her grip on the wall and send her plummeting towards the ground. As for me, well, I scrambled onto a climbing hold. I don't know if it was a miracle or something else entirely that let me grasp onto one as I was free-falling, but I wasn't questioning it. I turned to look down at Teresa. For once, I saw genuine shock and surprise on her face as she looked up at me. What? She hit the ground with a sudden impact. I winced, trying not to stare for too long. That could have been me. Wow, still alive and kicking there, Teresa. I don't think your bones are supposed to be that way. Oh, and your hair. That red does not look good mixed up and all that. And that glaze in your eyes. You're probably not all that aware, are you? To see you in such a sorry state. Truly saddening. Oh well, don't let that stop you. A broken body's no excuse to stop trying. You out of your godly mind? You think I could stand up, let alone climb? I can barely talk. Oh, are you tapping out then? Yeah, like hell if I'm going to try and win with a broken body like this. I'm done. Just remember this, Devon. I didn't lose. I just chose not to win. Sure, whatever you say, loser. Enjoy your peaceful rest. Belle held up her palm and it began to glow a faint white. She crouched down and placed it on Teresa's chest, and soon her breathing became faint and weak. Ah. After one final gasp, her eyes slowly closed, and she seemed to be at peace. Ah, the defiant words of a sore loser. Well, at least now she was gone. And without her trying to harass me, I was free to take a bit of a breather. Go at a comfortable pace and make it to the top. Slowly, I climbed my way back up to the top, rolling onto my back once I reached the peak and let out a heavy sigh of relief. I'd done my part. Now there was one less competitor. Speaking of competitors, how was Laura and Zeph doing? I carefully rolled over to look at the opposite wall to see how those two were doing. Surprisingly enough, it didn't look as though they were very high on their respective wall. It just looked as though Laura would only climb a few inches before Zeph pulled her down without even leaving the floor. Honestly, it was kind of pitiful to see. Alright, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're very much out of time for today, but I think we've got a wee bit more game left to go before we get to the end here for Devon. But there's only 3 left, so, you know, we're getting there. Anyway, see you in the next one, Bruce. Thanks for watching.